Good morning, all. Welcome to Andesmet's webinar series. It is a pleasure to welcome you all, and we look forward to an engaging month of introductions. The purpose of this series is to create a range of conversations to stimulate, develop cross-continent collaborations. We encourage you to ask questions. More importantly, we encourage you to reach out and start a conversation, be it that you're simply interested to know more about capability or you see an opportunity to collaborate. This new world has made video conferencing so easy, so there are no excuses. We can just reach out and we can start a conversation. In any case, let me tell you a little bit about Andesmet. This is an organization that represents some of the best innovative companies emerging out of Latin America. All these companies are proudly owner-run businesses who understand the importance of developing long-term relationships and thrive on innovation. This webinar series is part of an initiative to introduce the capabilities of each of these members to the Australian market. Its purpose is to start a conversation and build mutually beneficial collaborations. The group of companies that you'll see over the webinar series represents a highly diverse set of capabilities, and each webinar will focus on showcasing two companies. So we look forward to having you, the audience, join us for the series. So let's move on. Let's get on with the show. It is a pleasure to introduce Mauro Messano, the president of Andesmet. Mauro, over to you, my friend.
Thanks very much, Rick. Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to join us today in the first of our webinar series. We are extremely proud and excited to be sharing with you this program, which has been designed to present the cutting-edge insights and case studies that highlight the real-world solutions developed by our members, as well as our global vision, our ethics and values, what differentiates us, and our collaborative manner of addressing challenge and new opportunities. We created our association a little more about a year ago, because we really believe that we have the experience that allows us to understand what the global mining industry needs today. Reducing cost, increasing competitiveness, achieving safe work conditions, confronting the climate crisis, exceeding stakeholder expectations, as well as finding ways of unlocking new business value. Today, we will have the opportunity to learn more about two of our partners, Drillco and Vantas. I sincerely hope that what they present to you in a few minutes will be served as the starting point for developing partnerships that will allow to work together towards addressing Australian mining companies' most pressing challenge. So thanks back to you, Rick, and I'll leave it to you so you present the first speaker.
Mauro, thank you very much. Certainly, I think you're right. I think the level of capability emerging out of Latin America is second to none. And I think there are many opportunities to collaborate between Australia and Latin America, and in actual fact, Latin America and the rest of the world. So, look, it's a pleasure to introduce Drillco, particularly Trinidad Carmona, who I know very well. Drillco is a really interesting example of a company that started and was born over 50 years ago in Chile, certainly made his mark in the Chilean market, but now has offices all over the world. And is one example of an area where certainly surprised me just how strong their innovation and their expertise happens to be. So it's a pleasure to introduce Trinidad. She will take you through the capabilities that Drillco has. Trinidad, over to you.
Good morning. My name is Trinidad Carmona. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director for Drillco. And today I'm going to walk you as to who we are as a company, what it is that we do, and a case study that we have with one of our customers in Australia that shows the kind of innovative solution that we can offer in drilling. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen with you and start my presentation. I'd like to start with a bit of context as to what we see as the mining industry's main challenges today. First, there is a growing demand across all sectors as a consequence of growth of green energy solutions and electrification, together with quicker urbanization of underdeveloped cities. At the same time, the ever-decreasing ore grades and the few new deposits being discovered account for a reduced minerals offer. The challenge then becomes, how do we increase productivity and reduce total costs? The mining industry has turned into technology, implemented automated operations, integrating data to increase efficiency, mostly into how to better attain the production program, and the reduction, or even to a further extent, the complete elimination in the usage of water. Yet, in a mining operation, as we all know, ore is king, so any digital solution being implemented is faced with real-life, on-the-field challenges to be resolved. So that's why I'm here to briefly walk you as to what it is that we do and how can we support and provide solutions for your challenges. In a nutshell, what we do is that we customize drilling supplies to meet each operation's individual needs, whether that be a need to increase productivity, speed, reduce total drilling costs, reduce labor requirements, implement automated drilling solutions, or all the above. Even though drilling is a small portion of an operation's overall costs, being drilling the first unitary operation, it affects all costs downstream. Having an optimal drilling and blast result and optimizing fragmentation affects load and haul and crushing. It affects the amount of fuel and energy required for the process downstream. It also has an impact in maintenance costs, labor costs, and production, which are often overlooked when we're talking about drilling. So basically, what we do is develop drilling tools that affect not just the drill string efficiency, but the overall total drilling cost of an operation. The way we do this is through proprietary software, a broad network of on-the-field engineers, and research labs. We work closely with the world's leading universities in material sciences, rock fragmentation, and ore recovery. Given the brief time we have, which I appreciate greatly, this slide shows a summary of our company. Basically, we have a broad experience in hard rock drilling, but what really differentiates us is our innovation approach. We invest in R&D 3 times the average of the mining industry. Our R&D investment focuses on developing skills to improve rock fragmentation and the data associated to it, so it can be used in the decision-making process, from the drill rig all the way to the crusher. There's 200 mines around the world, from Siberia and the North Pole to the Sahara Desert or the Brazilian Amazon, that drill with our products today. More than the hype of naming far away and remote and exotic locations, it just shows how we can design and modify products to achieve optimal performance under very different operational challenges. Now I'd like to share with you one of the many case studies that we have, which shows the kind of improvement we can generate with customized drilling supplies. The customer is Lake Cowell Mine in New South Wales, which you might know, of course. It's Evolution Mining's largest operation, producing an average of 250,000 ounces of gold a year. Or they used to. This chart shows production and the cost for the last 3 years. The challenge the mine was facing was a continuous reduction in gold production from 200,000 ounces in 2018 to less than 160,000 today, which equals to a 16% reduction in output. At the same time, costs have been increasing noticeably from around $859 to over $1,200 today, which represents a 46% increase. Of course, these costings include overall operational costs, but I'm going to focus on the challenge at face in drilling and blasting. The technical challenge faced by the mine was low drilling productivity and high detention times, meaning a high drill rig operating cost and bottlenecks. This was due to very hard rock conditions, low useful life, and presence of water. The mine's approach to increasing drilling productivity was to increase hammer maintenance, which of course resulted in higher labor costs. So the DrillCo approach was to go back to the blackboard and design from scratch a custom-made solution for the mine, with the goal of increasing useful life, completely eliminating maintenance requirements, and having a versatile hammer and bit that could perform in very different conditions. The result was a 71% increase in useful life with 0 maintenance required. This not only resulted in a lower cost per meter, but also in higher productivity, increased usage of the rig fleet, lower labor costs, and increased safety. The economics behind this useful life improvement is a reduction in expenditure from $1.2 million a year to $314,000. This is just the drill string expenditure without considering any maintenance, fuel, labor, or other cost savings. Just like this one, we have plenty of case studies for each customer's individual needs and requirements. We have developed drilling tools to support the automation initiatives some of our customers are already implementing, such as matching the tool's useful life to the roster. We have designed an automated drill string replacing system. We have done performance reporting software, on the field remote technical training for drillers and others. So this is what we do in a nutshell. If you have any comments or doubts, I'd be happy to hear you guys out now. We're looking forward to hearing what your challenges are and how can Drillco support you towards achieving both your production and cost targets. Thank you very much.
Trinidad, thank you very much for a very detailed presentation. I know that I certainly was impressed with the capability of Drillco when you and I first started talking about a lot of the work that's been undertaken in not only Latin America, but in the USA as well. Trinidad, and I'm just looking here on the side, there's a range of questions popping up already, which is great. Obviously, there's a lot of interest. So Trinidad, looking in the last couple of years, which have been really difficult from a COVID perspective, how has COVID impacted your organization?
Thank you, Rick. That's definitely a challenge that we have all faced over the last 18 months. So at Drillco, we have a subsidiary in Italy. So they called us early February 2019 to alert us that the pandemic was actually way worse than what the media was portraying. So this allowed us to take immediate action way before most companies. Our safety and production protocols, which are still in place until today, have been very, very strict. So among the myriad of initiatives we took, the most important one has been preventive testing every 3 days to all personnel. This measure, though, of course, a little bit expensive, has allowed us to detect asymptomatic cases before they can be contagious, ensuring both the safety of our people and the continuity of production. The result has been a continuous supply throughout this whole pandemic, ensuring our customers can drill nonstop. This, of course, has been greatly appreciated by our customers, many of whom have faced operational difficulty and challenges. And this is, to us, it's a reflection of our commitment to our customers, as most of our competitors have had big supply chain disruptions.
Well, congratulations on a really proactive response, because it's actually amazing how supply chains all over the world have been impacted by COVID. And I know that the mining industry is not immune to that. Look, there's a couple of questions popping up also from some of our viewers. One of those actually says, where do you see the relative value that Drillco's capability can deliver in the Australian market?
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a very good question. We as a company focus mostly in open pit mines that have difficult technical rock conditions. To us, that's key. So our main differentiator is that we can custom design hammers and bits to meet our customers' needs. So this, of course, allows us to offer superior performance in any drilling condition. In our experience drilling in 35 countries and 200 mines, Australia has one of the hardest rock conditions in the world. So this, of course, plays to our advantage. By custom designing drilling supplies, we can ensure our customers achieve their drilling goals, whether that be a need to increase useful life or improve ROP or increase production, or even to a further extent, reduce the number of drill rigs they're having in operation at any given time. So of course, Australia for us, it's a key target, and we are at our best as Drillco when we're facing a technical challenge, which I think Australia is.
Oh, terrific. Look, thank you for that. Looking at the questions that are popping up, there's a couple here asking whether you actually have any experience in the Australian market before. Have you done any projects here before?
Yes, we have. We've been in Australia for 6 years, a little bit over that, supplying mining and mostly exploration customers. Our process whenever we enter into a new country is that we start by developing products that meet those specific rock conditions, which are very different depending on the country you're operating at. So we spent the last years developing custom designed hammers and bits specifically for the Australian rock conditions. So at the moment we are there, we've got a couple customers both in mining and exploration, but we're very eager to put our products to test once again and expand our footprint in the country and targeting hopefully customers in West Australia.
So that's something that you and I have talked about a couple of times, that Drillco as a company is very agile in actually adapting its capability and its research towards solving specific customer problems. That's something that you always focus on.
Oh, yes, definitely. We start with the challenge and we start with the technical side of things. To us, the technical side is key, and we always ensure that we've got a technician in place on the field 24/7. That's where we feed our continuous improvement program, which is incredibly important for us, and we make sure that our products are performing at the best of their capabilities towards achieving that specific customer's goals.
Well, that's terrific. Look, thank you very much, Trinidad. I encourage the audience, anybody that's actually interested or intrigued by some of the things that Trinidad is suggesting, reach out. I mean, the whole purpose of this series is to start conversations. I think you'll find all of the companies that you will be talking to here are all highly innovative, highly agile, and have the ability to react very quickly to the market needs. So don't hesitate, reach out and start a conversation. We promised our audience that we would be brief and to the point, and we will keep moving on with their presentation. So I'm really pleased to move towards the next presentation. But before I do that, Trinidad, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And I'm planning to be in Chile probably March next year. Hopefully we can have a bottle of wine and share a few more war stories. So great to see you again.
Definitely, you're more than welcome. Thank you all.
Terrific. Thank you, Trinidad. So moving on, the next presentation will be by Vantas. Vantas is one of the founding companies within the Andes Mets organization and has a very high pedigree. Endeavoring to attempt to describe all the things that Vantas does is the job of Gary Warden, who will be presenting shortly. Suffice to say that I think that Vantas is kind of leading the digital transformation of the mining industry in Chile. So on that basis, it is a pleasure to introduce Gary. Gary, I'm going to hand over to you and give you the opportunity to present all of that Vantas is within the Chilean and within the Australian context.
Thank you, and good morning, good evening, or good day to all of our participants today, regardless of where you are in the world. Today, I'll be introducing you to Vantas and be providing you with just a small taste of how Vantas is helping transform the mining industry globally, how we're supporting the industry to drive improvements in bottom lines and improvements in health, safety, and environmental outcomes, both globally and here in Australia. Just by way of brief introduction, I'm a mining professional with more than 27 years experience across the mining industry globally, including in South America, USA, Africa, and of course here in Australia, in a range of roles, but whose focus has been on helping achieve transformational change with a major focus on technology. My professional experience aligns almost perfectly with Vantas's experience and purpose, so I'm delighted to be representing Vantas as Country Manager Australia. Vantas is a global group of companies born in Chile with a sole focus on supporting the mining industry globally. Mining, technology, and innovation are in our DNA. Now, when I first went to Chile in 1994 as a young geologist, I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't know very much about Chile back then. And I think that many Australians will be surprised by the similarities between the two countries, notwithstanding, of course, the fact we speak different languages, we're on opposite sides of the world, we have very different cultural heritages, and we prefer football featuring different shaped balls. But one of our biggest areas of commonality is in mining. Here in Australia, we like to pride ourselves on our long history of mining and how it has helped transform the lives of every Australian. If anything, Chile has an even richer history of mining dating back to pre-European settlement prior to 1500, and since then has seen the emergence of silver, nitrate, gold and coal mining, and most recently and most importantly since the early 1900s, the era of copper, which has seen Chile become the dominant producer of copper in the world, producing as much copper as the next four biggest producing nations combined, where Australia comes in at number 5. Vantas draws on that rich tradition of mining to support its mining clients globally, with a team with deep expertise in mining and technology across 5 core business lines. Our productivity team supports our clients in achieving productivity improvements through organisational design optimisation, equipment automation, supply chain optimisation, and advanced analytics. Our studies team undertakes specialised studies on a diverse range of subjects, including automation and renewables, provides ongoing market and industry intelligence, and conducts studies on trends in mining on a range of topics, for example, women in mining. Our sustainability team focuses on supporting our clients' health, safety, and environmental performance through the deployment of safety and health technologies and risk management and reporting systems. Our largest team is focused on supporting our clients in transforming their businesses through the deployment of innovative technologies. Our technology team does this through the delivery of concept studies, detailed architectural designs, assurance and control, and project management of technology deployment projects. I'll talk more about our technology focus in a moment, but before that, just a quick word on the last of our core business lines. Our change management team plays a pivotal role in supporting our teams working on projects in each of the other business lines. Effective change management is critical to the success of achieving sustained productivity improvements, deploying new technologies, or improving health, safety, and environmental outcomes. The quality of our change management teams across all of our business lines is one of the things that really sets Vantas apart. Now, I'd like to return to the topic of technology. I've tried to simplify what is a complex story on this slide. You will all be familiar with the mining value chain represented across the top of the page, starting with exploration and planning on the left, before moving to extraction, which includes drilling and blasting and loading and hauling in the middle, before moving on to the processing and refining. Every mining operation has a range of foundation processes such as financial, human resources, supply, and health and safety. So that's the box on the right-hand side. I've also shown the 4 key phases of the development and implementation of information and operational technologies, IT and OT, down the left-hand side. Vantas has successfully delivered hundreds of projects across the globe, and it's very hard to summarise all of that on one slide. However, I wanted to give you just a taste of the key technology themes where we are helping our clients unlock the most value. The first is with equipment automation and remote operation. We've supported clients with automation and remote control of a diverse array of mining equipment, including haulage fleets, drills, front-end loaders, and rock breakers. One of the things we pride ourselves on is our agnostic approach to technology. We work with all key mining technology providers globally to provide the best technology solutions to our mining clients. Our second focus has been on the development of integrated operations centres, which are helping drive productivity improvements and improve supply chain integration. I'll talk more on this in my next slide with the case study. Our next focus area is on technologies that support improvements in health and safety, with prime examples being with operator fatigue systems, such as this SmartCap system shown on the slide, health monitoring and surveillance systems, and access control systems. Our fourth focus area is with the design and deployment of converged infrastructure, where we have vast experience helping drive cost reductions through the transition from segregated to converged, and now more recently, hyper-converged environments. And why end there? We've got many, many more examples of Vantas supporting our mining clients' transformation journeys through the design and deployment of technology. The last thing I'd like to highlight on this slide is just a sample of some of our technology projects completed here in Australia, where our focus historically has been on foundational and control systems. I'll come back to say more about how we're set up to deliver value in Australia in a moment, but first, I wanted to highlight the work that Vantas does through a case study. Vantas's work supporting a major international mining client with the development of an integrated operations centre, I think best showcases everything that Vantas has to offer. Our client had the challenge of operating 2 large remote mine sites. Each of the mine sites had disparate technologies, disparate processes, disparate management teams, and no integration or optimisation. Vantas helped develop the technology architecture and to bring the control of that diverse array of technologies that had been controlled at each of the mine sites into a single city-based control centre, allowing for transformation and improvement of the processes across the supply chain. We were able to implement the solution with 18 months from initial concept to having the technology deployed, with key people moved and trained, and the operating environment up and running, including with a backup environment. This project drew on the experience and expertise of our productivity, technology, and organisational change management teams globally to deliver this successful outcome. And we're looking forward to unleashing the power of these teams to help our clients in Australia unlock productivity through technology. Here in Australia, we've been supporting our clients achieve improvements to their bottom line and to their health, safety, and environmental goals for more than 14 years. We have a global resourcing and collaboration model, which enables us to run lean projects and offer highly competitive value propositions to our clients. We make use of a pool of global subject experts, people for whom mining and technology is in their DNA, but who may not necessarily be based here in Australia, who can support our customer-facing team here in Australia to drive successful project outcomes. Our resources in Australia primarily focus on project management, business analysis, and stakeholder engagement, pulling on the deep subject matter expertise from across the globe. We also have a number of corporate partners in analytics, benchmarking, and shared services who we draw on as needed to execute our projects successfully. Lastly, while we're a geographically dispersed company, we pride ourselves on being one global team with an outstanding corporate culture. Our clients receive the same fantastic experience regardless of where they're located in the world. The company prides itself on its values, which focus on bringing together the needs of our people, our clients, and the communities in which we operate. In closing, I'm hoping I've whetted your appetite to find out more about how Vantaz can help you to transform your business through technological innovation, change management, or productivity improvements, and to find out more about the Vantaz difference. Now, you can use the QR code on the right of the slide there to jump to our website, where you'll find many more case studies highlighting the work we do. I'd also be delighted to meet with you face-to-face or virtually for a chat on how we can help you. Thank you for your time today, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Gary, thank you very much for a very impressive presentation. I think all the work that Vantaz has is always been, to me, world class. In reflection, it's really interesting because often we recognize Chile as a world-class mining country. In my conversations, we also recognize Australia as obviously a major mining country, but in terms of technology absorption in certain areas, Chile is leading, and it often surprises many of us as to just how rapidly and how fast digitization is entering the Chilean market and the acceptance of software and other technological solutions. So Gary, in that context, I'm looking at all of the emerging questions. In that context, from your perspective, I'm just reviewing the questions because there's too many of them. Look, there's about 3 or 4 of them that are coming up, which are kind of highlighting the same point. Why Vantaz? There's a lot of consulting companies around the world. There's some very, very large. There's some with high capability in Australia. Why someone from Chile? What's the differentiation there?
An excellent question. Thanks, Rick, and thanks for those who've been asking that question. And we recognise there are lots of choices in this space, I guess, here in Australia. And but we do feel as though we offer a compelling value proposition. Vantaz has been in existence for more than 21 years now, and I've, as I mentioned, sort of had a long running experience with South America and Chile in particular, and including with rolling out new technologies in Chile, and so mining is really very much in Vantaz's DNA. So we're not just any old consulting company. We know mining. We have a large team of people who have worked in the mining industry and know the ins and outs of the mining industry. But it's not just mining that's in our DNA, the technology components that are in our DNA as well. So we have deep subject matter expertise in the technology space as well. So our ability to bring together those 2 strands of DNA, the mining piece and the technology piece, with a deep commitment to understanding our customers' needs and our our expertise around optimization of processes, I think sort of offers something which is relatively unique compared to what other companies can provide.
Thank you, Gary. And in that context, is all the work done in Chile, or you actually have resources in Australia as well?
So as I mentioned, we do have a lean resourcing model here in Australia, and that's by design. So we focus on having our customer-facing resources in Australia, so our project managers, our business analysts, and so those are the ones who need to do the direct face-to-face engagements with our clients. And then we draw on our resources in Chile and elsewhere to help execute the projects. So it's a balanced model, but it's a model which allows us to have competitive pricing, and it actually is a model that enables us to respond really quickly to customer needs as well. So, if I sort of receive a request from a client during the day, I can quickly sort of turn that around and get a response overnight from our relevant experts in Chile, if we don't have the answer in-house within Australia. So I think it's a good model. It's a model that's worked for us over a long period of time.
The old 24/7 really works when you're actually operating with someone in Latin America. Look, this is a personal question I'm going to ask you, right? Because I speak to Mauro a lot, and he always tells me that there's this Vantas culture, right? And I kind of don't believe him, right? So what's this Vantas culture all about, right? He always tells me that it's the difference between Vantas and other organizations. You're obviously involved in the business now. Is that real?
Yeah, well, Mauro talks about the Fantásticos, and which are basically the Vantas team members, and we do pay careful attention to the people we choose to be part of the company. And I'm not going to go through the laundry list of the Vantas values, but it is ultimately focused on providing value to our customers but also sort of serving the needs of both our customers, but our people, and giving them a sort of great, sort of fantastic experience, and then the communities that we operate within as well. We focus on people who are not just subject matter experts and technologists, but people who really have a deep commitment for understanding our customers' needs. We pay a lot of attention to communicating effectively with our customers. That's why the change management piece is such a key part of our value proposition. It's not by chance, I guess, that we get consistently sort of excellent feedback from the clients that we work for. We pay a lot of attention to making sure that we choose the right people. We listen to our customers, and at the end of every single project, we sit down with clients and sort of take feedback on and look to continuously improve our own processes as well. So it's something that we pay attention to, and we think it works.
No, thank you, Gary. I really appreciate that. And so, I mean, the conversations that I've had with a number of clients that have worked with Vantas, I hear exactly the same story, and it's pleasing to see that you're feeling it. You've been with the company for how long now?
Oh, I'm fairly freshly. I'm a fresh starter. I've been with Vantas for about 4 months now.
Okay, well,
but I've known of Vantas for a few years now.
Yeah, no, congratulations, and I think Vantas is certainly leading the work in Latin America in terms of digital transformation, and certainly already making a strong impact in the Australian market. So, Gary, thank you very much. I think we promised that the webinars will be brief and to the point, and the whole purpose of them is to create an introduction. And thank you for the audience for joining us. I think the questions demonstrate the interest. It's important that we're all conscious that we have a series of webinars. The next one will be in December 9th, December 2nd, December 9th, and December 16th. And in December 2nd, we're going to have Christian Garces and Gonzalo Restini doing their presentations on Balmoral, which is a really impressive global logistic organization, and provides a range of soft landing capabilities for the Australian market and for the Australian market into Latin America and vice versa. And Gonzalo, of course, who is the executive director of FMI, who are delivering a whole range of safety equipment, already doing some fantastic early stage work in Australia, and certainly leading innovation in the safety space and material handling space in Chile. That'll be on the 2nd. On the 9th, we're going to see two really interesting companies. Sergio Lopez will be presenting Proactive Office, which is an amazing capability in project management. We all understand project management to be what project management is, but when you're trying to manage a portfolio of $4.5 billion with potentially 100 projects with 300 or 400 contracts, the ability to be able to oversee the whole portfolio, which in each stage is being managed by different platforms, is highly complex. And certainly Proactive Office is delivered an amazing outcome in some of the major mining companies in Chile. I think you'll find that really interesting. And of course, Alejandro Martinez will be providing an update on RMS Analytics. Again, a very, very impressive asset performance management, digital type solution from emerging from Chile. I was super impressed with the work that these guys are doing. In December 16th, we'll have the final of the series with Julian Arangues, General Manager of Macrosteel. Again, not just a normal steel company, but a very interesting hybrid model. And they deliver complete solutions. I think you'll find that really interesting. And Herboy Harsik will also be presenting on that day. And there again, got a very interesting set of technologies around transfer and services, particularly in the mining space. So all said and done, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Trinidad, for a great presentation. Thank you, Gary, for a great presentation and sharing with us the whole thing around the culture with Vantas. I think that's a really interesting question. And to Mauro, congratulations for a great initiative in Andes Mets. The whole purpose of this series of webinars is to start conversations. I encourage you to connect and to explore and to develop great collaborations. Thank you all. Good afternoon.